Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So, intro for book 7. I do not have the book name in my head. So, James Reid, I'm going to give you that opportunity to share. What is the name of book 7?
It's Bloodstained Shadows.
Bloodstained Shadows. That is not ominous at all.
No. I don't see why that would be ominous.
Why would it be? Michael,
it's not like the cover isn't a dragon destroying a city or anything. It's not.
No.
Nothing ominous.
Not a shadowy dragon at all. Oh my goodness. I said Michael, I meant Uden. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. It's we got some type of heat wave going on right now, and it's just hot.
Oof.
Crazy hot. It's like equator hot. But other than that, can't really complain.
So to tell the audience, this cracked me up earlier. Michael and I were trying to remember the details from book 7 that we wanted to talk about. And I was like, I remember something about traveling. And Michael said, and the Ruan being sad and grumpy the whole time. And then James is like, oh, did you forget about the lesbian love triangle? Oh, yeah, that. So let's talk about that. That was fun.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so for a long time, I was like, okay, we have Lady Ithjao. She's inside of Voni's soul. And like, what happens when we meet her mate, who is Lord Bethan? But he's also in a woman's body. So that is where the complications arrive in book 7. This, like Voni is like caught off guard by this woman that kind of wants to have this relationship with her because she has the soul of her wife inside of her body. And so it made things complicated. And it just sort of brought to the surface sort of all the self-loathing that Ruan has that she's kind of been able to ignore for the last couple of books. But now it kind of just rushed all up to the front. So her self-esteem issues and guilt issues had to once again rear their ugly head. And so it's kind of like I knew like what would happen when Lord Bethan shows up in the woman's body, and also I need to resolve Ruan needs to have the next push in her character arc. So they just work together to form the lesbian love triangle that we get in book 8 or book 7.
And I never fully saw it that way. Only because
it's not like a real love triangle, because it's not like Voni is like torn between the two of them. It's not a proper love triangle, but it's more like Ruan's like self-hatred.
The trapezoid.
Yeah, Ruan's self-hatred is like, why are you with me? Why are you go be with like Lord Bethan and be with her and just be happy. You won't be happy with me. And so it's sort of like, it's not a proper love triangle, but it is sort of a very much a relationship problem that.
I kind of knew he was a dude the whole time, so it was like I was
that too. That's
sort of torn. I was sort of torn between like what was going on and realizing that this was definitely like a male spirit.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, so that's another thing. It's a male spirit in a female body. So that also had that other dynamic, and yeah, so it's just sort of a very complicated situation, and there had to be some boundaries. There had to be some conversations about, that isn't Bethan's body. Basically, he didn't steal the body, but he was put in that body, and the soul that it belonged to got yeeted out. So effectively killing the girl.
I like what you said. You used that intentionally or unintentionally at first, that whole tension to kind of break Ruan, like all that tension that she had, it's like it had to go somewhere, and eventually it had to either she was going to implode or something was going to happen with the relationship. And I applaud Voni for her persistence, and her willingness to ask Dawa or Ree or Zai, do you know of anything I can do? Do you know anything I'm doing wrong? Is there something I can do better? And she had the willingness to work with it and figure it out. And she didn't just dismiss Ruan, even when she was so cruel to her. She just saw through that pain, and she knew that there was more going on. And she wasn't about to just dismiss Ruan completely, even though she was hurting too. And, Ruan, for a while, I was like, oh my gosh, get over yourself, But at the same time, I was like, I get it. You've been through some serious trauma. I need to understand, And yeah, so that was just a fascinating dynamic. And the way that Voni, she's matured so much because she's able to handle the tension of, yes, I'm going to allow you to speak to your husband through me while I hold on really tight to my own soul and make sure I don't fall while my girlfriend/wife is over here looking at me like, yeah, fine, go ahead. Just, that's what you want anyway, so go on. She's like, no.
Yeah. It's like book 7's a very slower book. It's more character focused book, especially kind of on that dynamic on Ruan really needing to resolve the issues that she had been suppressing since the end of book 3. Ever since the start of book 4, when Tony kept her from getting executed.
It was my favorite. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. So it was your favorite until you read.
I was going to say it was my favorite until I read book 8, which I say this every time. And like the last 3 books, book 3 was my first favorite. And then I think 6, 7, and 8 consecutively have become my favorite. But book 8's going to be hard to top for me. But I definitely think this was a cool book. And I liked a lot of the more introspective stuff that was going on. The awkwardness, the awkward situations. I mean, these books are full of awkward situations, and that's part of what makes them so much fun. You get to really know these characters. It's funny. Maybe it's just because I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I don't know. Have you guys seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Yeah, I love those 2 movies.
Okay, so the whole thing about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I actually made a little bit of a correlation to the cast in Shadow of the Dragons, is that they're kind of misfit characters that are all kind of, and it's not just because there's a big tree in one of them and then there's a plant person in Shadow of the Dragons, but they're kind of misfit characters that come together and realize that they're family, and get closer and closer despite the fact that they have certain dysfunctions and dysfunctional arguments and sort of different viewpoints on things, but at the end of the day they're a family and they're a team, and they each take turns proving that they can be heroic in different ways, and that's one of the things that I love the most about this series. And I think that the fact that it's written over such a long, like I was saying today, because I've read them in succession, one after the other, and I just sort of jump right into the next one. Sometimes I forget what actually happens in each individual book because I see the whole thing as one big giant narrative. And the fact that there are so many books and there's such a big opportunity to really get to know these characters and really flesh them out, to me is what makes this series and this group of characters so amazing.
Yeah, it's fascinating how we've gone from Voni and Yuden to everybody that we have now, and yet we're so intimately connected to each one. And I'm sorry, James, I interrupted you. Please go ahead.
That's fine. I don't remember what I was going to say, but no, it's fine. It's fun to write that. It's fun to sort of bring all these characters together to sort of slot in the new characters as we go, and sort of build them up and explore who they are and how they work and how they differ from each other. Yeah, so it's been interesting.
And we had Ree's big, like celebratory, amazing reveal in this one.
We got the cliff notes
and everything.
Yeah, we got there was cliff notes he just casually dropped what he did to get banished out of the middle of nowhere. And
Yeah.
he has the same reaction as my editor. Like, really? Which is why he just says it.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
I love
build up.
it, but he said it to the exact right person in this story, because Ruan was really having a pity party. She was really getting down to that point of, okay, girl, you got to figure something out, you know, and, you know, dealing with trauma is not an easy thing. But, you know, at some point you get to that breaking point, and it's like you choose whether you're going to go a positive direction or not. And I think that in this book, Ree was a big part of her realizing I could have gone a different way. There could have been a really bad path for me, but I'm in a place where I'm surrounded by people who love me. I have a girlfriend slash wife who adores me. No matter what I think of myself, no matter what I do to her, you know, in my pain, she understands and she's there. And Ree is like, look, I, you know, beat a woman to death and I was banished, and here I am with none of my family, you know, and thankfully he does have the ragtag family, like you said, like the group, Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He has these people, but he's telling her, you know, it could have been worse. That's something my mom used to tell me when I was little. It could be worse, you know, and I think that she really heard that from him because he's one of those, what do you call it? Strong, silent types.
That way.
Yeah, I was gonna say stoic. Yeah.
But so when he does speak, you listen.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool stuff coming up with Ree. Yeah, Ree is awesome, and he continues to get more and more awesome.
His adoration of Zai just makes me happy, even though he won't tell her his truth because he doesn't want to break that relationship, you know. But at the same time, he's so fiercely protective, and I love that. So yeah. Zai, speaking of, she's kind of recovering this whole book.
Yeah, because she has this she has a bit of Lumi stuck in her, and you know, it's Lumi is trying to find it and can't. It's causing all sorts of even crazier dreams now. So we got even crazier prophetic dreams that all are coming true, and I mean that all are coming true.
Okay, no more.
Yeah. Well, the Zai dreams, like the Zai Lumi crazy dreams, that's how the book starts off, isn't it?
It starts off with her just dreaming as it. It's not the really crazy dreams that come up. That comes when she's sleep deprived. That's when she has the really weird dreams.
Oh, right. Is really Lumi.
Yeah, but like she keeps dreaming as Lumi.
And she starts talking about it. She starts talking about having a tail or something like that, which is like,
yeah, because like I don't spell it out that she's Lumi.
No, I didn't.
But she is dreaming from like she's like from a Lumi perspective. That's like Lumi.
Right, and I didn't get that for a while, and when I finally did get that, like it made it even cooler.
Yeah.
Kind of like having like an annoying sort of like floater in your eye that you just can't get rid of.
Well, that's definitely me. I've had one of those all my life. It's right floating off around here.
Right, and Zai had like that blue that she just kept seeing.
Yeah. That was that bit of Lumi stuff in there.
I was just thinking that must be just so annoying from like just the perspective of being annoying despite being confusing and everything at the same time.
Yeah. She had a lot of interesting stuff. It was kind of a lot of important stuff happened for Zai in this book that probably won't really be apparent until like the next book.
This is the book where she realizes that she's pregnant, right?
Yeah, she's been pregnant for a while, but this is when she finally realized it.
Oh, right.
I mean, she dreamed back in book 5 she was pregnant. But,
oh wow.
But this is, and then she and Newton are like, okay, we can't like be doing things anymore because I might get pregnant, so we got to stop. And it was all for nothing because she was already pregnant.
Yep, poor thing. I was like, oh, poor Newton. That's funny. So at the end of book 7 is when they're realizing that the places that they have traveled through are being ravaged by Lady Shadow, or the places that she thinks they're traveling through are being ravaged, like if they were harboring these fugitives or whatever, or she doesn't really care, she just wants to kill, so she
wants to kill them, and ravaging cities just a bonus for her.
Right. Very different from Gaul, I think. I haven't met Gaul, so for sure, like completely. So I don't know.
Well, he's there. He hangs out in the background. It's just
and Lady Shadow just continues to be like this terrifying, ominous presence.
Pain in my foot.
Her shadow hangs over the book.
Yeah, definitely.
I was being metaphorical with my title.
A homicidal shadow hovering over.
Yeah. Plus, the blood's also a reference to Bitham, because the dragon of blood. So
I really enjoyed the scene at the end of book 7. I think that was another cinematic kind of scene. Like imagining this black dragon flying over a city, coming into this ragtag group of people and creatures who are fighting her off. And then I love Shuam. I was so proud of Shuam for like running on the roof and bringing his little ice balls, and or was it ice or death?
Yeah, he was using ice because he switched them to ice because the death ones they're a little dangerous to hang out with. He's like, I'm gonna go with safer ice, which is not much safer.
So help me out for 1 second. How did you pronounce his name, Sarah?
Shuam.
Is that right, James?
That sounds right to me, yeah. Shuam.
Okay, because I've been calling him Schwam the whole time.
Oh,
it's fine.
I like that actually.
There's no.
But I still call Voni Vune, so it's like I can't get.
It's fine.
Vune out of my head.
I was sitting down, we were both there with Stephen Erickson when he told us that we were mispronouncing Malazan. It's Malazan, I think he called it.
We were calling it Malazan. He calls it Malazan.
Yeah.
Malazan or Malazan. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I probably would say Malazan too.
I think almost everybody I've ever heard talk about it says Malazan, but we found out we were saying it wrong when we interviewed her.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't care that you mispronounced it though.
No,
I don't care. You can, that's just Shuam is what it is for me.
Right.
That's funny. I think we all three pronounce it differently. But I'm so proud of the way that I said him again, forgive me, the way that they threw the ice at Lady Shadow and becoming more okay with themselves, and I think that hiding in the library of, what's the name of Otfavu.
Otfafe? I can't say that name. That's a name I can't say. I have to have it in front of me to be able to say that name.
Yeah.
The place that got destroyed and he doesn't know about it yet.
Right. That's going to be sad to learn about. But yeah, just them doing that. And then you have Zai, who is under in the temple of Otazir.
Yes. To find that piece of Lumi in her.
Right. And they're taking care of that. And then she comes out of there and Lumi pops up and is sitting on her chest the fox. So yeah, that should be interesting to see where that goes. And I know, Michael, you and I kind of know a little about where it goes anyway. But
I think
I know exactly.
I know exactly really wanted to keep Lumi.
You what, James?
Those priests really wanted to keep Lumi at the end of book 7.
Yeah, they were really interested, way too interested in Lumi.
Yeah, so let's just say that they probably still want Lumi.
Right. Yeah, I was not cool about that. I think that's another part where Reid got really defensive, and I liked how he took care of Zai at that point. What'd you say?
Yeah. We'll deal with Reid's relationship with Zai will be, that's book 8. book 8 will be going to look forward to what's going on there.
Okay.
So here we're talking about book 7. Book 3 is just killing people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this is I don't think this is a spoiler. This isn't a spoiler. There a lot of things. I'll just say that a lot of things you think you know about the series will be thrown out the window very soon.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's like a lot of things. Like it's honestly like, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, and I'm not going to allude to anything in particular, but it's shocking. Like some of the revelations and some of the directions that this story goes, like despite the fact that, you know, I've always said, okay, so one thing about Game of Thrones is like the shocking things in Game of Thrones are that characters that you get to know die and characters that you like die. So we've got a cast of characters, you know, that seems pretty rock solid in that respect, at least up until the first 7 books, right? But I'll say this, everything you think you know is wrong. So this is not just this isn't for you, Sarah, because you haven't gotten there yet, you're just starting out. It's for everyone that's reading the series. There's some major shocking turning points that are probably some of the best plot twists that you will ever read in the genre, or in literature in general. Like really mind-blowing plot twists coming up soon in this series.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like it blew my mind. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about it all night. Some of the things just like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
What a compliment to you, James. It's excellent writing, and I'm definitely looking forward to book 8 now. I was looking forward to it anyway, but Michael, earlier today you said something about it, and I ended up listening to it all the way home. Which I'm listening. I say listening. We don't have it on audiobook yet. Hopefully, maybe one day we will. Maybe.
No, yeah.
I have it on like an app that sounds kind of like a natural sounding robot kind of thing, but it works for me. I get it. That's where I get most of my pronunciations, so I might butcher some of them.
You know, it's plot twist overload, in a way that doesn't seem like it's overload. Like it doesn't. It's not like, oh my god, like more of this. Like really.
I have 12 books to pace out the plot twists.
It builds. It's very organic and it's really well done. But it'll definitely blow minds. I had a really James and I are going to start working on the last book in our series, the book that I'm working on right now, and I threw a major plot twist at him and about who the big bad guy is going to be at the end of this thing, and I thought I had the best plot twist ever until I read this book. So
excellent. Well, I'm assuming that you will join us for book 8's discussion then, huh? I
will be there. I feel bad I wasn't able to make the last one. This is like, honestly, this is my social life right now. So yeah, definitely.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you were able to come hang out with us tonight, Michael.
Totally.
There's other things to talk about. There's crazy dreams. Everyone's having crazy dreams.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, you mentioned the strange dreams. I know.
Because I had some couple crazy dreams, but you know, I was the only character. There was this person that had a dream at the end of the novel.
You did?
Yeah. I had a weird dream.
Michael, help me out. I don't remember. What dream?
Sorry, what? I missed. So what are we talking about?
Oh, you didn't have that dream at the end of the novel.
Oh my god.
He was lying buried under the rubble. Man, you posted it. All right, that's cool. Don't pay attention to that dream. It's nothing. Not important.
Wait. Come back. Oh, I can't remember.
It's just ethical debates on like heroism and the role, and is it right to save the dragons if it's going to cause more
problems
down the road? I mean, it's fine. It's just a philosophical debate between mutant and his dead hero.
And Isheen Stonetooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have known that. I for some reason I thought that didn't happen until the beginning of book 8, and I didn't realize that it actually happened.
No, it's the end of book 7.
The end of book 7. Yeah, that was actually really cool. And also kind of like there's tons of philosophical stuff in these books, but that was definitely one of them. And the whole concept of what it means to be a hero is and you know, the fact that like everyone is the hero of their own story kind of thing is you know, it permeates throughout all of this. So yeah, no, that was really cool. And it continues to be really cool moving forward.
But yeah, it was an interesting dream. These last books, I kind of planned out what was going to be in all of them. So like I kind of was winging the series for the first half, where like I knew where it was going, but I didn't have quite as dedicated a roadmap. Like I didn't know how many books it was going to be. I was just like, we'll just write and see where we go. You know, like some of book 4 ended up in book 5. Actually, that still happened, but like so. I got to like book 6, and I think I sat down and I'm like, okay, let's see, what do I need to get done to end the series? And I kind of like plotted them all out. And I'd split them up so like there would be like what's in each book and how to progress these sort of various storylines. And yeah, so it's, but like I knew coming into writing book 7 actually how much there was going to be left in the series. So that was different. The first half was the first one I wrote with a plan more than I knew I planned. Like I knew we were going to end up in certain places, like because I set up where all the Looney pieces are very early on in the series. So like I knew where everywhere they had to go, where we had to eventually end the series. Like there's a lot of kind of stuff like I didn't quite know how to take down the Eternal Storm or the Eternal Gale. Like I kind of had an idea for a long time. I had various ideas, but like you know, I finally settled on one. And that's kind of how writing is. Like you have ideas for things, but you can't really. You have to wait until you can settle on them. Like, you kind of get there and you decide like, or they don't work. Like I had to change my ending slightly for the entire series because I realized something and it just wouldn't work. So
kind of like those.
It saved the character's life, but you know, yeah. So. Yeah, so it's stuff like that. Like you don't really know. Like I didn't really know how this series is going to end. Like when I started, I kind of read that way. But book 7, I did. Book 7, I really didn't know how it was going to end. Like that was the first time I really knew how things were going to shake out there. With the exception of one character that I had to change because it just didn't work.
So book 7 was the one that you had a plan for.
Yeah, so I really knew like what was going to be in each book and what things were going to be about, like what big events were going to be in each book. And in the end, like book 10 is actually the ending of book 9, but that didn't work out. Putting at the end of book 9.
It's kind of like those movies or video games where you're going off a cliff to another cliff, but the bridge is like being built as you run.
Yeah. It's like I knew the destination, but I didn't quite know how to get the characters there until after I wrote book 6. And,
They'll let you know.
Down and thought about it. Yeah.
They'll let you know where they want to go sometime.
Yeah. It's just more like I don't know. I have sometimes it's like I can tell you like I've written series where I know how many books there would be, but I didn't know how I was going to end it. Right? It's just like I'll figure that out when I get towards the end of the series. Like I got to write my way towards like halfway through a series before I really know how I want to end the series. Because I have to discover the themes. I have to discover who the characters are. I have to understand like sort of what would be the best sort of ending for the character after I've written them for a couple books, right? I can't do that.
I'm really curious to see what these plot twists are.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Excellent book. They're all great. Like the series in general is going to probably be like go down as a series that I'll reread probably multiple times. But I can't wait to write about book 8 and talk about it. And once it's been out for a while and there's been other books, say some of the things that I really loved about it and actually talk about it.
Once all the fan art has been published online and we can see what worms look like from different perspectives. And
yeah, I need to see what a worm looks like. I need to.
Yeah. Look it up. I'll share it to you. Yeah.
All right, guys, you want to wrap it up for tonight?
Yeah, it was great hanging out. I hope everyone out there in the world has a great day or morning or noon or night or whatever.
Yeah. Cheers. Yeah, it was awesome. Love this, and looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Make sure you read Shadow of the Dragon series. We are on today. We've talked about book 7 and a little peek of book 8. So make sure you join us next time for a talk about book 8, which is titled what, James?
Selling the Ashen Seas.
Ooh, Sailing the Ashen Seas. All right, good deal. All right, guys, it's been fun, and see you next time.